Hi, it's Wayne O'Keefe. I'm fishing the Golden River today, which is a pleasant change from where I normally fish. Beautiful morning, you know, the sun is shining, there's a bit of movement on the water, traffic in the background, it's all good. I'm using worms today. I'm hoping to catch some of the Australian natives here. There's redfin in this water, as well as our Australian natives like cod and various types of perch. I'm using not only worms but yabbies. I'm using cheese for the cod, and I've been throwing a little bit of burley, and I've started to work on burleys that are specific to our Australian natives. So I'm putting that out there. I'm hoping to get those natives with this burley. So if these pellets work, I'll be very, very happy. The water's incredibly warm this morning. No, I can't believe it. I would say that it's probably about 18 degrees. Now we had a warm night overnight, we've had a run of hot days, so the surface temperature is going to be quite warm. That's really good for the natives, so hopefully they'll be out today. Also, there's carp in this water, so I expect that's going to happen as well. I'm fishing two spots, and hopefully those two spots, which are sort of dips in the bottom of this river and fairly close in, will be natural food gathering areas. So I'm targeting those each time. Hopefully that's where the fish will come to. Plenty of logs and snags and everything in there, so I've got to be a bit careful. I have one fairly strong heavy rod and one medium or light rod. The light rod, if they go anywhere near a snag and that, I might not be able to pull them back. The heavier rod, hopefully I can bully them out of those places. We'll see how we go today. Well, first fish of the day is a small carp. Not exactly what I was after, but look, it's a bit of fun first thing in the morning. So, okay, let's see if we can improve on species and size. Well, another small carp. Yeah, I might have to change the type of bait and hook that I'm using to see if I can get past these things, but well, at least the fish are biting. To keep fish in the area, I just keep little packets of burley pellets. I throw them into the area that I'm fishing, so that trickle downstream will actually draw the fish up. There's not much food quality in these things, but there's certainly all the smells and all of the food signatures that draw the fish up. So because I'm only casting a few rod lengths out, I throw a handful, not even a handful, probably a tablespoonful of this stuff out into the water, probably about every 15-20 minutes. That trickle downstream is drawing them up. They don't get food out of this, but they certainly do out of the bait that I've got. So the worms I've got, yabbies I've got, cheese I've got, that's what they're hitting. Well, I'm not sure how much smaller these things can get, but another small carp. So clearly I've been burling the area and has brought them in. I just wish they'd tell their native brothers that I'm after cod and yellow belly and other fish. But look, it's still a bit of fun catching these things, so I'll keep trying. Well, I wasn't prepared for this, and I almost lost my rod. This will be a carp for sure, and it's taken me right out into the center of the river. Wow. And it's definitely a carp the way it's fighting, but it's right out in the center, so it's taking full advantage of that current. And there's a heap of logs and that out there. So I've got a beefed up rod here so that I can actually handle these bigger fish, thankfully. I've just got another rod in and it's going to tangle that line. I can see that happening right now. Thank you very much. But anyway, we'll just see if I can get it in and see what it's like. Boy, that was the fastest. It's not even that big, just that, boy, it really pulled that line in. So I'll just get this guy in. Oh, it's not too bad. Well, he's still got a bit of kick in him. They say carp aren't aggressive, but this one tried to drown me. Anyway, I lost him just in the shallows there as I was trying to bank him because I don't have a net. Anyway, lesson learned. And the fish that I just lost, I think was around about probably 4 or 5 kilos. I tried to comfort lift it, and was splashing everywhere, so I'm covered in water. That's why I was saying it was tried to drown me. But I'm fishing a bit of a drop off here. So what I've done is I've cast in around and I found a spot where the water slides down gently and then it drops off. So there's a bit of a bank and then a shelf below that. It's only a couple of rod lengths out, as I say, and I've actually casting onto that shelf so that that's where all the food would naturally gather. I've also been throwing in a few burley pellets which are attracting the fish, and also when I actually catch a fish and I'm dealing with it and then putting the new rebait in and getting my burley ready, I'll throw a little bit more out there just to keep the fish interested. They're hitting quite hard at the moment. This must be a good time of the day. I want to keep them in the area, and I'm hoping, I've only caught carp so far, but what I'm hoping is that that activity of carp is going to bring a cod in, or maybe because I'm using worms at the moment, maybe that'll draw in some of the redfin. We'll see what happens, but you've got to try things. If that doesn't work, I'll probably go to something like, I'll use the cheese so I can specifically target cod, and then failing that I might use a yabby, which will get the redfin, and sometimes there's even, this is a Golden River, sometimes there's even trout in here. So we'll just see how we go. Okay, well, not paying attention again, and the same thing has happened, almost lost the rod. So just see, this one's not as big as that last one I lost. I'll just see what I can do with this one. Ah, beautiful. This is what I was targeting. A beautiful silver perch. Beautiful. Took the worm, and by the way, yes, the burleying did bring this in. Beautiful little fish. I'm not going to keep this one. It's a little bit small, but I will always put these back. Pristine condition, lovely fish, caught on worm using a burley cage. Worked really well. Well, I've got another one, and unfortunately this time it's a carp, but I can't believe the activity in this area at this time. Now I'll just see if I can land this one without losing it like I did that big one. Okay, well, that's what gave me a bit of a fight just then, and took me a little while to get in because he wrapped around the other line. Thank you very much. Anyway, there's a lot of these in there, and they're taking all my bait, so I'm not having a chance to bring in any of the species I wanted to, like so the cod and more of those silver perch or English perch, redfin. So I have to change tactics a little bit to see if I can dissuade these, but I don't know if that's going to happen. And I've got another one. This one actually jumped. and yet it's a carp. Whoa. Because I got him in close. He's got plenty of life and he's near some logs. So I have got a strong line on this rod, but I've still got to play him fairly well. Jeez. So, yeah, he's got a bit of power in him, but it's only because he's freshly caught. And the rod I've got has got a lot of fiberglass in it, so the logs. So it's been very flexible. It's acting like a shock absorber at the moment, so I can take a bit of pressure on this rod, even though the line is quite strong, but it's not super strong. The rod is doing a lot of the work, so I'll just let him tire out first, and then I'll bring him in. Yeah, it seems to be. The thing about it is, if you're fighting them hard, if you can get their head out of the water, they take a gulp of air, and it seems to take the life out of them quite a bit, so it stops the fight a bit. Anyway, I'll get him in and see how big he is. And yet a carp, same size as the others. This is what's taking all of my bait. Any luck? Catching any? No? Into another one, and this one has gone straight out into the main stream of water, so I've just got to get him back in here, otherwise he'll get under some logs. So just seeing what I can do. Oh, to keep him away from those logs. Yes, this is another carp, unfortunately. Can't believe it. And this was with a yabby as bait, so I was trying to get away from the carp, and he looks like he could get around. Oh, he's got around the log. No, I've got him back. Oh, no, he's wrapped me around a log, which is the trouble in these waters. Oh. Well, it's certainly still on there. I might have to see if I can get a different angle to try and get some release here, so I'll see how I go. Unfortunately, he's definitely solidly, he's got the line solidly under under a big branch out there, so I'm not going to get this back in. And he was a decent fish though. This one could have been up to sort of 6 or 7 kilos. This was quite big, but anyway, I'm just going to have to break the line here and start again. And another little one just in the shallows here. Their hits are quite hard, even though they're relatively small fish. So, as you can see, not big fish, but there's sure as hell plenty of them. I'll see if I can get past these. Well, I didn't have time to turn the camera on. I just caught another little, silver perch. Not a big one, as you can see. Beautiful little fish. Took it on the worm, okay, in these waters, responding to the burley and everything else. Beautiful little fish. I'll return this straight away. Good to see that these are in the water.